segment, we're going to need to talk about a number of things. So I need to list out what those items are to make sure that to kind of know where we're going and what we're about, and make sure we end up where we intend to go. So the first thing that we need to go through are some examples, and I'll present a very simple example of a process, a kind of process that we encounter on a regular basis, or a process. It's really more of a schematic for process. You'd have to do some work to flesh it out for a specific instance, but I'll present a kind of process schematic using the little graphical notation that I introduced in the last segment. And then I'm going to, and that will be a very simple example, and then I'm going to simplify that example even further and consider something very essential about that example. So the first example will be how to create a, in the example of the web, the internet, we kind of understand, roughly speaking, intuitively, anyone watching this has a sense of what a web service is. So I'll talk kind of a schematic for one of the simplest possible web services. But that involves this notion of repetition or recursion, which is intimately connected to a notion of reproduction. So the process somehow produces a copy of itself. And so in the next example, I'll focus on just this very, very basic idea of how to produce a copy. Because that's, in biological systems, this turns out to be a major delta. For a system to kind of reproduce itself is a big step. It's a big step in physical systems. It requires a level of organization that is non-trivial and introduces all kinds of interesting possibilities for behavior. One of which is that once you have that kind of capability, reproductive capability, then you can get all kinds of other behaviors on top of that.